We're speaking with Rebecca Bowman, another candidate for the Peters Township School Director position. I'd like to start off by asking you to describe the strengths and qualifications that you would bring to the office.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I have a number of unusual skill sets which I would bring to the school district. I have 40 years in heavy construction, so I have a lot of insight in construction project management, construction cost controls, those sorts of things. In addition, I have years of experience as a human resource manager. So I also bring insights into human resources issues, employment issues, hiring issues, those kinds of things. I also have 26 years coming up on as an attorney. So I've done contract negotiations and all kinds of property management issues. I have had students, children of mine, as students in the district for the past 20 years. I intentionally waited to run until I no longer had a child in the district because I think there's an inherent conflict of interest if you're serving as a school director and you have a child in the district. So I waited until then.
Interesting.
I have a business in the district and I've lived in the district for 30 years. So I have very nearly every perspective as a citizen of the district that you could have.
Very interesting. What priorities do you feel would guide you if you were to take this office?
For me, it is a priority. Academics come before all else. The academic performance of this district is what sets it apart. The community resources that are available because of the parents and the residents that we have in the district are very important, and I'm somewhat concerned as a former student parent that we don't always make the best use of the available community resources. So I would be focusing on taking advantage of the opportunities that are inherent in being part of Peters Township School District.
Do you have any particular concerns that are leading you to run for this office?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I've been a tutor of Peters Township students for close to 20 years. And I have found through the years that the primary issues with our students coming out are English reading, speaking issues. Sometimes when I'm tutoring physics, for example, the students are excellent on the basic skills. They're not so strong on integrative thought process. And so the thinking process, the problem-solving process are things that I think need more emphasis. And then when I do SAT tutoring, what I run into is some of the vocabulary skills are not perhaps what they might be.
Mm-hmm. So you would be looking for ways to emphasize that or to encourage an emphasis on those skills?
On academic performance, absolutely.
Right.
Now, I will tell you that as I work with these students and they leave to go to college, I keep in touch with the students I've worked with, and they come back and tell me that when they hit college, Peters Township has left them very well prepared. So we're doing a good job there, and I want to make sure we keep doing a good job.
Good. How do you feel about public participation in school board decisions? First of all, is the school board the place for the public to bring its concerns about any issue regarding school matters?
Absolutely. The school board is the connection between the community and the administration. And of course, the teachers and the policies and so on are under the administration. The school board is exactly the connection. I have run into situations in which citizens will complain about lack of access to information, but yet they're not willing to step out and find the information that they need. So if we're going to get into a situation where there are those who want more information but they aren't willing to go get it, then we're going to have to find tools to reach them with the information that they want. For Peters Patch, for example, is a very effective tool for communicating information, but only if you're signed up for it. Mm-hmm. So if you're not, then you're not getting all of that information, and there's a gap there that the citizens can fill by simply taking that step. So it's a two-way street.
Yes, that's good to point that out. One point I have heard is that the public does not have access to information early enough in long-range planning, for example, to have an impact on decisions that are made that involve a lot of expenditure of money.
Right.
Do you see that as a problem?
Well, it's sort of a step issue. First of all, many citizens don't get involved until the budget is approved, and then they go, well, I would never have spent money that way. Well, that's a little late. If they only come to the budget approval meeting at the school board, the work's already been done, and so there's going to be limited opportunity to affect the outcome.
Right.
If they want to affect the planning process, then they need to get involved in committee meetings and attend committee meetings and participate in that way. And they always have the opportunity to communicate with the school board in advance of any planning and say, I see the following upcoming issues, please keep me in the loop so that I can participate when you discuss them. So the citizenry has an opportunity to shift some of that contact burden, but they've got to take the initiative.
Are the agendas for committees available and the meeting dates readily available for
The
citizens
meeting
who are
date,
concerned?
I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. The meeting dates are readily available.
What about agendas? How would someone know when something was going to be discussed?
Well,
For the committees, I mean.
that is not so readily available, and that's perhaps something that we could change in terms of improving the advance notice of what's going on in the committee. There is, of course, a planning cycle, and if you get involved at any point in the planning cycle, you will certainly know what that planning cycle is for the future. So you may be a year behind, but you certainly have the
Right.
opportunity to learn that.
But you're saying citizens should spend a fairly large amount of attention or energy to learn about it and get involved at that level rather than waiting until the decisions are about to be made.
Absolutely, right. If you have a passion about an issue, you have to go back to the beginning, where the issue is going to arise.
But I can understand too why people don't spend that time, because they don't really know what's going on until it's a big public issue, and then of course everyone climbs on the bandwagon.
Right, and you may not know about it until your child is impacted by it.
Right.
And if you don't have a child in the district, you're even in more tenuous relationships.
That's right. Right. How do you approach making funding decisions about athletics and the arts?
Well, my priorities would be academics first, pretty straight up about that. The arts impact academic performance. So my second priority among those three would be the arts. They improve logical thinking, they improve memorization, they improve pattern recognition, they improve foreign language learning. So the arts are extremely important to academic performance. So that would be my second funding priority. And academics is, of those three priorities, the thing that students are most able to achieve on their own, independent of the school district.
Athletics
with
or
recreational athletics.
Okay.
Did I say?
I think you said academics.
I meant athletics. Athletics are the thing
knew you
that
meant that.
students are most able to accomplish independent of the school district. So therefore, that would be my third priority. And I've had, both of my children were involved in sports, so it's not that, my kids don't do that, so I don't care. It is simply that they feed less to academic performance, and they are better able to be accomplished outside the district.
What about the Western Area Career and Technical Center? We apparently send a very, very small number of students there. Do you think there's an opportunity for more students to learn about it and perhaps more publicity about it for students who are not really headed to college? Or should we head everybody to college?
No. I encounter students working at minimum wage retail jobs with master's degrees, and I can't find a plumber for less than $80 an hour. So I think that no, not everyone should be planning on heading to college. I think that in the past, in its previous incarnation, the Career and Training Center had a negative reputation. I would like to see some of the capital-intensive technology programs focused down at the Career and Technology Center, where only one unit is producing that rather than every school district.
Every district.
And that would, I think, bring up some of the attractiveness for using that resource.
Thank you. Now I'd like to give you 1 minute to tell the voters why they should vote for you.
Well, I believe that as a long-term resident of the township, that I bring a unique perspective to the school board. I am very fiscally responsible and conservative. I am very upfront. What you see is what you get. WYSIWYG, I suppose. I am very concrete as an engineer. I have a very strong sense of quantitative elements of things. At the same time, as an attorney, I have a perspective on flexibility and working between parties. I also work as an arbitrator and a mediator, and so I bring conciliation skills to the environment as well. So when there are challenging relationships, I am well equipped to help the school district get through those relationships successfully.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.